So, February 9th. It says February 9th. So, today, or yesterday, Pepsi released its earnings report, right? It was a pretty average earnings report. It was a little down on revenue. Not terrible. But this is what we're looking at right here. We're looking at this really low revenue, that 18 billion. Now here I'll actually go. I'll show the one for today. Today, that looks like 28 billion. That's an insane $10 billion reduction. 35%. I mean, other food stocks were down. It was something like Quaker's Oats was noted to be down like 5%. Something like that. And this is going to go more into about how they raise their prices. It's a lot of the problem for Pepsi is their price hikes are so the consumers don't want to do it. The distributors don't want to do it. Distributors being grocery stores. They don't want to put them on their shelves because of how expensive these are. And the profits have decreased because they're focusing too much on sort of getting the revenue up that they raise the price so much that now we got this sort of terrible cycle of they're not going to make enough money ever again. So this is a sell thesis from 2017. I'm not going to read all that. But this still applies now because we can see more healthier, eco-friendly. That does take up a lot of the company's resources. Thinking about how they want to improve the environment, improve their ESG rating. It's not necessarily like necessary for Pepsi to be doing this when I'm gonna say their target audience sort of doesn't really care. When you're drinking Pepsi, right, you're putting this just straight black liquid down your throat. It's like you don't care in the first place. Why are you gonna care about the environment? So, and healthier, like, let's be for real. Is Pepsi ever gonna be healthy? So this thesis still holds strong, still holds able to this day. And, it's still a valid thesis in the case of, it's not a good company. It's not looking good for them. It's a buy thesis I wrote in like 30 seconds. Most of you scrap from a Coca-Cola buy thesis because they're, it's kind of the same thing. So, adapting and innovating. We haven't seen much in the ways of more products, right? Pepsi has Pepsi. And technically, yes, they're PepsiCo, but I'm more specifically just talking about this single segment. But the entire company's just raising their prices. Pretty sure Doritos is owned by Pepsi. I'm not 100 on that. Not 100% on that. But it's like just expensive. It's like $3 Doritos at the Dollar Tree or something like that. Like it's not sustainable. So we have these innovations, years of operation. Living in a competitive. It's like I'm gonna say it's a top company. It's competitor with Coca-Cola directly, biggest competitor. What are you gonna do? You can't really beat them. I don't know which one came first, but they've adapted to be able to survive. I'm not taking away credit from them being a massive company. It's a humongous, owner of these food trademarks and the foods themselves, and the production of them, and probably the production machines too. But I do also credit them for staying away from potential controversies. I haven't heard anything about Pepsi's again, it's like you're pouring straight black sugar down your throat. It's Pepsi, you know. Pepsi's Pepsi. And they were able to cut some decent costs of production. And I said I rate Pepsi to buy because that's kind of what I have to do. I said mid thesis. Terrible thesis. Sucks. Just pointing that out. Putting that out there. So, whether shifting to a more healthy and economically friendly business model is a good idea or not, it raised a lot of the prices of the company just to be a little bit more economically friendly. You know, trying to be healthier, trying to use, trying to use better materials, better machines. But I feel like the consumer's not seeing that anyway. And I don't even know if I'm right about that. I don't even know if they're trying to be healthier, be better. They could be being unhealthier. Pepsi could be being worse for you, you know? I'm not there, but we see this with a lot of companies. We look, and they have this inside. They're trying to make the inside as perfect as possible, but there's still a wall there. You still can't see into the factory. You don't really care. You don't really know what's happening. But it doesn't really matter for these big companies that you can't see, because you're never gonna buy anything else. All these little smaller companies don't really ever get anywhere. Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and these big sodas, they're not really alternatives. You can't really replace it. And the only replacements are funded by these big companies, which gives them more revenue, of course. So are they cutting costs? 2019 was a while ago. 5 years ago. Not all the capacities or costs are equal. I don't see why this isn't obvious, but essentially, I guess they weren't prioritizing correctly, and this is them showing that they're gonna be better. But I disagree. No, I don't disagree. I just think that it's kind of dumb that this is their philosophy they're putting out now, to prioritize. That's like a go-to to prioritize, and they're just taking them this long, you know. Of course, there's something, but this is the public statement. You can kind of also tell who's listening, who's gonna fall for that, and it might have been taken out of context. I'm not gonna lie. You see the little 3 dots. That means it kind of was abruptly ripped by me. And they laid off a significant amount of staff, a lot in the tech sector of the company. I don't know about labor-wise. I don't know what they laid off for the people, dealing more with the machines, and tech is machines, but we're talking about, and that might not even be the right choice. Layoffs seem to have been like a go-to for a lot of companies. Theoretically, yes, we have all these people. You have to pay them all hundreds, thousands, or like we're in the 100,000 range. If you're in a tech for a massive company like Pepsi, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Paying employees. Employees is a massive thing. But that might ruin their infrastructure. We can't really tell. And then I just put little tax reductions from their environmental efforts. It's not going to mean that much. It's not going to do anything. Very minor, very little. And I hope the share price drops 50%. That'd be very funny. It'd be low. I'd love to see that. I would love to drop 50%. That would be to, we'll see on the next slide. That would be to about $80, which is probably pretty fair value. So we can see this was the close, and then so you get some realization here, and this is just today. This is closed. This was open. Pretty obvious. Massive gap down. I remember open up trading view at 9:30, or yeah, like around 9:30, and I was like, what the hell? Sorry, what the flip? And kind of just sees massive dip. I can't move on it. But it's just really, I don't have too much insight, of course. I'm not part of PepsiCo. Wish I was. I'd be paid pretty well. Yeah, it's been pretty stably at 167, so we might see the market reverse and get a more fair value for Pepsi. Anything below, I think 80, I would probably think about purchasing. But it's Pepsi. I don't really want it. It's like, it's not interesting, you know? The only long thing I'll do is SPY. Like, who wants to invest in Pepsi? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna gamify it. But, yeah, you know, very, very sad, very disappointing. $10 billion less revenue. They probably have a bunch of cash saved up. They're probably ready for this. They've been preparing. But $10 billion is a ton of people. A ton of people you gotta lay off. A bunch of, you know, processes that you have to lower in price, which also cost money. You know, it's just a big mess. I feel like, or they have it under control. But I'm sensing a big mess. Yeah. Dividends coming up. What do I pay on dividends? Out of curiosity. $1,265 per share, I believe. I don't really know dividends, but I think that's not bad. It's most likely an industry average. Let's go PepsiCo.